In the rusty planet, two dogs on a mission. Television gold, ain't no intermission. Wild antics, blanks got the crowd all wishing. Laughter's currency, big fame, the commission. Rusty in the corner, plans wild and whack. Tim in the front, comedy never lack. Studio chaos, keep them all on track. Smash hit moments, all stripping from the mat. Tim and Rusty run the show, ain't no stopping. Every episode, side splitting, jaw dropping. Laughs on tap, steady beat, steady knocking. Fame train rolling, never gonna be flopping. Tim spitting jokes like a pro magician's wand. Rusty bringing back up, both tight like a bond. Audience cracking up from dusk until dawn. Comedy duo, yeah, that's the unbreakable bond. Shenanigans break the fourth wall, candid confessions. Each episode a lesson in laughter professions. From pratfalls to epic rants, never second lessons. Tim and Rusty reign supreme laughter.
What's the matter with you tonight? More cases of Austin Cruz running from Jason Xavier. What's wrong with you tonight? Not very fast. So what is this?
He is injured tonight, so he can't wrestle. He was supposed to have a title match tonight against you. But
you are a funny one, Mr. Minor. You know I have a rematch clause, don't you? You know I have a rematch clause. Not sure if you knew, but I have a rematch clause. So where does he think he could just step in, cut in line? Making an example of him isn't going to be hard. It's not. Look at him. I mean, it looks like you ate about the size of him. But hey, so let me, out of curiosity, how long are you out? Oh, really? Tick tock, tick tock. You have a time limit to defend that belt. But you know what? I like your idea. It's the first competent thing you've ever said in my presence. So I like that. I think I will do that. And nobody else gets to try to cut line when I win until I get my chance.
okay, we will sign the match right here. Right here, right now. We'll bring a referee out here. Not you. You go have your transition surgery, whatever you got to do. I'm sorry. But we're going to have a number one contender match right now. Xavier Michaels against Jason Xavier. Right now. Hey, you don't throw the mics. Give me a referee. We got a referee out here. This is going to be the opening contest. In the ring right now, Jason Xavier. Xavier Michaels, this is for the number one contender spot for the United States title. underway here, and this is going to be a pretty good matchup. We got the Xaviers here,
Yeah, we got it.
the X-Men.
I can't get the name wrong tonight. Can't get them mixed up.
Got Jason Xavier taking on Xavier Michaels.
Now, Michaels has got a Z in his Xavier.
Arm lock there by Jason Xavier, side headlock. Reversal out by Xavier Michaels to his own headlock.
Well, we'll probably have things done here nice and fair tonight because Rico's not here to bring his own brand of justice. Okay, this match could go, these guys could just wrestle, grapple. They could do the MMA stuff, the jiu-jitsu stuff, all this, both of them quick as lightning, maybe not quick as LBK, Lightning Bolt Kid, but they're very quick. A lot of catch if catch can, a lot of go behind and chain wrestling.
At
Go behind.
ringside with Jason Xavier is none other than, what's his son's name?
Ryan.
Ryan Xavier.
Yes. With Ryan. Standing
Side
side
headlock
headlock. Austin Harris is the man with the stripes.
Shoulder block there by Xavier Michaels. Michaels off the ropes. Drop kick by Jason Xavier.
You're,
Big back elbow.
at any moment, either one.
Oh,
Look
big
at
leg
this.
lariat.
At any moment, either one of these guys can go south and throw a punch or poke an eye. I love it. Thank you, Tim Miner. You've done it again.
Oh, flying
Yes!
off that top rope. And
Now
both
here's-
men are down, out,
Here's the real
outside the
thing.
ring.
Can Austin get past two? Austin Harris, the referee. Go over to check with his manager, Ryan.
He made it to 4.
Our social security guard's working the room tonight. Tony. Forearm shiver it is in the corner in the ropes. So you can break this anytime you want to, Austin. Fist, you definitely can break that, Austin, anytime you want to. Bulldog! Okay, it's not the dynamic what either one of these guys can do, but I give Bulldogs 10. Thank you, Cowboy Bob Ellis, for doing that for Little Rusty in lower elementary grade.
Headlock takedown there by Xavier Michaels.
Why is Austin Harris tapping out? I don't understand this.
2 count.
Oh! He was going tap, 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 tap. I think he was just trying to annoy the Xaviers. Little forearm there to the rib cage. Ooh. Oh!
Oh!
That is a 10! We didn't expect to have this match, Tim Miner, but we could have done any better than this. Austin proud of that too. I don't blame him. It's hard for him to get that high. You know, most referees 1, 2. What's the number that comes after 2?
Speaking of getting high,
He's figured out what's coming after
there were
1.
people coming to the show, but they decided to get high.
They did?
There's a song. Have you ever heard that song? I was going to go to school, but I got high.
No.
I was going to watch RWF, but I got high.
One of my fans out here is looking at me. She's got a pretty bow.
Yeah, she don't really know you. does
She's
she?
a real little girl.
She don't really know you, does she?
Nope.
2 count.
Well, both men getting up. Michael's got a slight advantage there on the get up. Duck under by Xavier. Whoa! Big slam. From here on out, folks, I'm going to try to call Jason Xavier, or Jason, and I'm going to try to call Xavier Michaels. I do know Xavier Michaels by about 4 different names, so I might throw any one of those in there. He has a totally different name when he competes in the MMA. Oh. You think he shouldn't have taken time to slap the ring?
Oh,
I'm not even sure what happened there.
I don't know.
It hurt, though. We got it. Well, I guess you're getting rewarded for your win. There was. Oh, Michaels has come in. Oh, yeah. You don't want to get these two going. They're unstoppable. Even Landon Bradley has trouble keeping up with them. Somebody hit Austin Harris, too. There's no need for that referee not to catch one for the way he called that match. Welcome to the Tim and Rusty Show right here. It is March the 29th. We're in the middle of the March Madness NAACP tournament. And Tim is doing really good. He is in first place tonight.
I am not in first place. You're in first place, and you only want me to say it so you can hear me
So
say
I
it.
can hear you say it. Well, who would have thought I'd have been in first
But here's
place?
the deal.
Florida won tonight at a big comeback win over Tennessee Tech.
No, Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. And I was listening to it on the radio, and sometimes I prefer listening to basketball on the radio, or
Well-
football for that matter. But I really enjoyed it. It was just amazing. They should have lost. They had a guy scored 28 points, I believe. It was really good.
Well, I was just making sure we're coming over.
Okay.
Um,
It's a good choice tonight of the matches. The X-Men here, Jason Xavier and Xavier Michaels. That's you couldn't have asked for anything better than that. It's just instant excitement, and for the most part, there were no shortcuts. Just normal ones that you'd take. It wasn't. You really had two fan favorites there wrestling.
oh yeah.
And that's exactly what you pros should do. If you get in there, you put on a show, no matter who you're wrestling, no matter what. Doesn't have to always have to have a bad guy or a good guy. I know that's what we usually want, the war of the black against white. I mean good and evil. I didn't mean that racially, because I'm not a racist. Anyway.
Anyways,
Yeah,
back
get me out
to-
of this.
well, if you'd shut up every once in a while.
Oh, you were busy.
Jason Xavier becomes the number one contender for Austin Cruz's United States title.
Which
And,
he was, but he wasn't.
And from what I
because-
understand,
because
Jason Xavier will take on Austin Cruz at the May show. May 17th is when we're back in action, and it will be a title match. So he will have put the title up within a month. Well, not a month. It'd be 60 days
Well,
at
we're
least.
not having a show in April, so we can't really count that against him,
Yeah,
can we?
no.
We could. If it was Kid Scorpion, you'd count it against him.
Oh
But
yeah, of course. No, of course. We haven't got to show this Kid Scorpion match yet, where I
Alright.
saved his butt.
You shaved his
No,
what?
I saved his
Oh,
butt.
saved. Hey, saved. I didn't think.
I made the tag. I went tripping in the ring, and Luke seems to think that that's so funny that I almost fell face first when I
Well,
went to the ring.
I didn't want to bring it up or be critical, but soon as you came through the ropes, you tripped.
Well, somebody raised that bottom rope and caught my foot. Did you do that? I think you was over raising the bottom rope.
I
Tripping.
was laughing. No, I just admired you to getting in there. I would have never done that even 20 years ago. I would have not. Well, yeah, 20 years ago, I guess I did. Not like that, but remember Cannon knocking me out several times.
That was some good days.
Oh, yeah. Hey, and speaking of Kid Scorpion and back then in SWA, do you realize when we first started in SWA, the only guy that I know that's still wrestling, well, there might be two from that era, is Kid Scorpion and occasionally Desperado. He's retired, but he dabbles a little bit in PWA, but sticks his nose into things every now and then. But Kid Scorpion, I know he stopped for a while. He had some surgeries and stuff, and he just, once you get out of it, it's hard to get back in, but he's back, and I didn't see ring rust. And he's going against 300-pounders.
Whoa. Well,
And they're mean 300-pounders.
I want to go back out to your basketball, that old basketball, Commissioner
Hey,
George.
I got to adjust my shirt here so y'all don't, because it's bothering me. So you don't look. There you
I
go.
thought you was going to show us what Commissioner George showed us that night.
So,
Absolutely
speaking of
nothing.
which,
Absolutely nothing.
we went to visit Commissioner George in the hospital. And I'll say a kayfabe alert here. That it's not the right word, but anyway, he'd had a triple bypass, and which I'd had a couple of years before that. Matter of fact, you and Davey came and got me up. That's the first place I went out of the house was to a wrestling match. You took me down to, I guess it was a SWA thing they were doing in the Civic Center, but or municipal, whatever we got here. Anyway, but so back to my story. We went to see Commissioner George in the hospital. As soon as we got up there, George is gentle giant, and he's used to locker rooms all his life. And as soon as we get in there, he's going to show us his scars. So he just pulls it. He just pulls his hospital gown nearly up over his head to show us his, his where they cut his chest open, put the zipper in, and it's like, oh well. Anyway, as soon as he did it, you were both sort of looking up at the ceiling
because he had nothing on, but there was nothing there because he was so big, his belly was hanging over.
Yeah. See,
and then we didn't say anything about it. We carried on conversation.
This was down here. So,
and I remember the first thing when we left the room, we got into the elevator to leave. Rusty looked and said, "I had that same surgery. They didn't take mine off."
Hope that doesn't offend too many of you out there.
Of course, Commissioner George passed away of a heart attack later on.
Yeah.
A few years after that.
Love Commissioner George. He was a good one to have around and have in your locker room. Have that on the floor. He was good.
Do you know that there was only two? From what I understand, there was only two SWA commissioners in the history of SWA.
That would be you and
Commissioner George. I guess I'm still the reigning commissioner because, well, it's not in business anymore. But
and I'm pretty sure Kid Scorpion retired the hardcore champion. I think I verified that with him, or that he was the last one. Then we may not have been having it anymore. Sometimes those things run their course, the hardcore stuff. Speaking of which, we're going to have a tables, ladders, and chairs. Oh, my.
Well, David
match.
Matthew says he's not getting on a ladder. I just ain't getting on a ladder is what he said.
Well, did you expect him to get on a ladder?
I'll let him borrow my little step stool ladder.
David, you've been around.
You're not going to have to climb to get anything down. That's just a ladder they can jump off of or use as a weapon.
I'm going to tell him that.
I'm sure he knows how to use a ladder as a weapon.
You're big enough to pick a ladder up and jab somebody with it.
I was going to say he could do
it.
a seesaw. Wait, no, he can't do a seesaw because he would just be this way the whole time.
Look, put Kenny on the other side. It might
Yeah.
It's PWA, not this Friday, but the 21st. Matt Starr and Larry Cooter had a ladder match, and both of them, of course, landed on the ladders. Cooter landed on it quite a bit. I don't see how this man keeps going. He is a Superman. I mean, you come full force. He was doing I think it was a superplex or maybe from the second row. Anyway, with Matt onto the ladder, and Matt goes a little too far, and Cooter lands. Guys, get ready. And if I remember correctly, if he still got it in him, that Kid Scorpion, he is the master of tables, ladders, and chairs. Oh, my matches. We've seen him in several with all kinds of contenders. We were talking last night. Big old American Psycho, I guess I'll say 300 pounds. It may not have been quite that heavy, but he comes off the top of the cage onto Scorpion through a table, and Scorpion has returned favor to him as well. Wow. Anyway, so you guys need to get ready because this is going to be I can't help but to think that these young guys, well, they're not young, Scorpion's not young, but these smaller guys are going to have an advantage here.
Oh, yeah.
Because you want to keep out of the way of a table, a ladder, or a chair, and they can do it. And Austin, or rather, Adam, he's going to be back with us. And this guy, it's amazing how the fans just love him. He hadn't been with us
I was going to go back to basketball. I brought up Mr. George. You got me off on it. But the basketball NCAA tournament is taking place right now. We're down to Sweet 16. And, of course, you said earlier Florida came back and beat Texas Tech. Of course, me and you both have Florida versus Duke in the NCAA championship.
And I picked Duke. And
I picked Duke to win the championship. Now, here's where it's going to become interesting. You picked Michigan State to go to the Final Four. I picked Auburn.
I should have picked Auburn.
And you picked Houston to go to the Final Four. I picked Tennessee. Now, tomorrow, those games will take place. If Michigan loses, if Auburn wins and Tennessee wins, I will have the perfect Final Four. I will jump you in the thing, and I don't think there's a way that you can catch me unless it comes out of the tiebreaker. It depends on who's in the NCAA championship.
Another thing to point out here, outside of our rivalry, is that there's the potential of having 4 SEC teams in the Final Four. Is that still possible?
I don't think. You got Alabama versus Duke, you got Tennessee versus Houston.
And both of
you got Auburn. Florida. Yeah, it could be Florida, Auburn, Tennessee, and Alabama.
Well, if I would have seen Florida, I'd rather Tennessee play Kentucky Wildcats like they played yesterday.
Yeah, they looked impressive.
I could have picked them to go to the
win the national championship. They're playing like a team that could win a national championship.
I would have picked them to go all the way. But
of course, you got Florida and Duke, who are so big. They got some tall guys play defense.
But since Kentucky beat them twice, I just couldn't see them beating Duke. Well, they could, but I can't see it. Now
Alabama has a kid that hit 11 threes the other night.
Yeah.
And now they got to turn around and they got to play. They play Duke. If Alabama gets out, Alabama could beat Duke, and that would really mess mine in your brackets up.
Man,
of course, I will not be proud.
Alabama won, that would mess everybody in Tennessee except Brooks Teal.
Yeah.
Oh my!
But here's the thing: I really don't want.
Like that.
I don't want Duke to win the national championship.
We just need to rebuke that.
Even though I picked Duke, I would prefer Tennessee to win the national championship.
Duke's SEC too, right?
No, they're ACC. But it's like you go talk about the NCAA tournament. Like I picked Clemson to go all the way out to this game and be playing I had them playing Tennessee in this game, and then Tennessee beating them.
I have Houston beating them.
But the thing is, Clemson was the only team that beat Duke this year in the ACC. That was Duke's only conference loss in the ACC. So I'm thinking, you got a team like Clemson that's good, and then they get upset by a mid-major team, that doesn't, but that's the NCAA tournament.
That's happened already several times, particularly opening night, is it Louisville?
Oh, yeah.
Not opening night, but, when they started the tournament. I guess it was opening night. That was on a play-in game, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't playing.
But anyway, they lost, and that messed my bracket up on that because I had Louisville winning a couple of games. Had Louisville, if you had done your stuff, I'd really be ahead.
But now, the reason we are having a live stream tonight on a Saturday night is I have got a
schedule that nobody can keep up with.
Yeah, I can't even keep up with it. And this coming week is really going to be bad. We have inventory at my work, at Publix. So I've got to stay and make sure stuff gets counted. It's got to be counted all week long because we have
Did you
to
do
prep.
that during the store hours or
Yeah,
after?
no, they come in on Friday morning. The team will come in and do inventory of all the stuff.
I never
But
understood
we
why
have to-
Dillard's wouldn't do that.
Anything in the back room, we have to prepare and get ready for inventory. We have to pre-count that, and so they just come back through and count it from what we've got written down.
Yeah.
And then they count what's in the store. They count it. So I've got inventory this week with Publix. I've got a softball game on Wednesday night, which is not normal. So that means I will not be at church Wednesday night. I'll have softball. So I don't know if we'll be able to do a live stream any other night this week either. I know I got a softball game on Monday. Right now it's Monday and Wednesday.
So this is just that time of year.
Or
We've
no, wait,
been-
no, we don't have one Monday. Monday is a away
Normally
game.
we're usually on Tuesday nights throughout the year. Most Tuesdays, we did that. But starting what was it, the first of the year? I
during
guess
basketball season. We have basketball games on
in
Tuesday,
December,
Friday.
maybe we started having to move it around a
So we
bit.
moved it on Thursdays a lot.
And then of course you do girls softball.
But now, starting the day after our inventory, which our inventory is Friday, on that Saturday, I start vacation. One of my 6 weeks vacation.
That's
I
what I
get.
was thinking. Did you just take one?
I get 6 weeks a year.
That
But the problem is I usually have to work my vacation because I'm working on other stuff.
Well, that I would give props to Publix for giving you 6 weeks vacation. That is a big bonus. And as much as you are counted on there, I don't see how they let you do that.
But
They make you too, don't they? If you don't take it at the end
oh,
of the year.
you lose it. You just lose it, or you can move 10 days over to the next year. But I try to take I'll try to go in every 2 months.
But
They
do they do that?
Give me all 6 weeks in.
If you work there long enough, do they do that for everybody? Is that just, or is that
Oh,
your
if you've
managerial
been there-
status?
no, I'm not no manager.
Yes, you are. You're a backdoor receiver.
That's not a manager. That's not a management position.
There's nothing that comes in that store that you don't have something to do with.
But
Well, some of the you don't have something to do with all the customers that
I've
come
been
in.
there 17 years, so
It builds up like
yeah.
that.
yeah, you get a certain amount of PTO hours every year. But
Yeah, I had built up to 3 weeks at Dillard's, but that's the tops. Even
well, see, ours is actually sick
Like-
time mixed in with our vacation pay. But I have sick hours that I never used when we did the regular sick hours, and so I can use those until they run out. So I've got like almost 400 hours in those. So I don't have to use any of my PTO time I can use all for vacation. But anyway, y'all don't care about that. But my schedule is off a little bit right now, so I'm not sure when I will be doing live stream. We do not have a wrestling show in April. We'll be back in May. We couldn't do it on April. April would have fell on April the 19th, I believe.
I'd be majorly distracted here. You know that my undiagnosed ADD. Luke is getting rice all over your furniture over there. He cleaned it up, licked it off. I can't believe this.
Yeah, but anyways,
I can't.
we're back in May. We're not doing a show in April because April, the weekend that we'd run a show on, it fell on 420 weekend. Fell on Easter weekend, and it also fell on WrestleMania weekend. So
And some of our talent, as in ownership, will be out of town.
yeah, he's
No,
going
sorry, I
somewhere
didn't
for.
tell
He must
you.
be going somewhere for 420, or is he going somewhere for Easter?
I don't know. It's none of my business. But
So
Thor
Easter
Thor
and
doesn't do
420
that
are
kind
on
of
the
stuff.
same day. I wonder what Jesus would do.
He would have resurrected. That's exactly what it done. Just like planned, he'd have resurrected.
But anyways, so we're not
And
doing a show.
everybody, when they looked, when they saw him, they just said, dude,
Whoa.
sorry, Lord. So where were we before we got off on?
Man,
on
we're seeing
sacrilege?
things. We're seeing things. Is that real?
Well, they probably said that, even though they were stone sober, stone cold, whatever.
But anyways, but we'll be back in May, the third weekend of May. I think it's May 17th. Or is it? Yeah, I think 17th. With a great card of action. I know Xavier Michaels is wanting to get his hands on Landon Bradley.
So
'Cause that young punk keeps on getting in everybody's business.
yeah,
Somebody needs to take him out behind the woodshed. And whoop him.
and Jason Xavier got, well, his daddy did in PWA, except he still won. Anyway, he didn't. Jason Xavier had the number one contender match, and yet somehow Xavier Michaels, he got bypassed and didn't get his rematch for the title, and so he brought that clause back up. Wait, I got it in my contract.
Of course, we put that online, and they did the match.
Yeah.
You know.
So they settled who was the number one contender, and this is a good thing. I don't know if all that came through. They hugged it out and parted ways, and I think now Xavier, Jason, when he comes out and he's got to face 4 or 5 people, he's got Xavier Michaels in his corner, and that is one bad dude or good dude to have in your corner. And he gets all that kickboxing stuff, and his feet start flying over the place. He may twirl some fire. We need to get him to do that one night.
Don't burn down the house.
He can go out in the parking lot there out for the Armour, and just I love that. He's posted on his Facebook page, whichever name it is, that he's going to go out and twirl fire some more, and he posted that, and I loved it. Just thrilling, just like you watch somebody on TV from Hawaii or Samoan Islands or something doing. It was great, I guess, or Puerto Rico, wherever all the places they might do that. It was fantastic.
Oh, man.
Circus Olay. Olay.
Well, I've got some things that grind my gears. Things that make me go,
Are you Coach Gruden now?
No. Well,
Gruden's Grinders.
What aggravates me is when I'm driving down the road.
Oh, I thought you was going to say me.
No. Well, yeah, you aggravate me a lot. But if I'm driving down the road and somebody pulls out in the lane in front of me and just goes about 5 to 10 miles an hour, they're not in no hurry to go anywhere, but they were in a hurry to get out in front of me.
And nobody's behind you. They could have waited 10 seconds and you're past them because you were going 70 or 80 miles an hour.
That happened the other day.
In the 45.
I was about ready
or the 35, excuse me.
I'm like, really? You wanted to pull out just to slow me down?
Rice over there?
Oh, look, there's
Don't
Rice.
worry, he'll be licking it off here in a minute.
It's over in this chair.
And see, how does that not distract you?
I'm focused.
Well, so am I.
You know what distracted me today?
Over here.
If I had not seen this, I would not
in front of you.
No. If I had not seen this with my own 2 eyes, I would not believe it. We went to Food Line, and on the way there, we saw some people carrying some stuff on their head. We were kind of like, are they from Africa or something? Well, we came back out of Food Line. I saw a lady, she was leaving Food Line, and she had walked one out before us. So we pull out of the car and go to the left. This woman is walking down the street with a 24-pack of bottled water on her head and bags in her hand. It's on top of her head, and she's just walking like it's a hat. A 24-pack of bottled water. How in the world do you do
don't
that?
have video on that?
I tried to get Luke to take a picture of it.
I mean, that could be one of those viral shorts or
How
reels
do
or
you
something.
carry a 24? That's heavy.
Yeah, that'd be hard to carry just up on your shoulder.
Yeah, she had it placed on her head and was just walking down the street.
Did she appear to be from overseas?
She was either Sudanese or she was from Africa or somewhere like that. But you got to have a flat head. I don't know. How do you do that?
I realize you can't tell
everybody's
everybody's from overseas, but
I mean, if she's walking like a normal person, like walking down the road, like nothing's happening.
Wow.
Like I've got a bottle of water, 24-pack bottle of water as I had on my head.
I've seen, things on videos and pictures of the ladies carrying the big water pots on their heads and stuff like that. Wow. I guess she was carrying.
But I mean, she wasn't touching. She was carrying 2 bags in her hand and had the water. She wasn't even up there,
carrying 24 water bottles on her, water pots on her head. Wow. What else that you did? You should have got a reel.
I don't know. What was your?
You should have got that.
What was your
slow person pulling out in front of you? You should have got that woman.
What was your reaction to that, Luke? Seeing a woman carrying a 24-pack of bottled water.
It made him hungry, probably. Anyway.
Well, actually, it did because of him and somebody who was messaging started talking about the Euro place. And then we got back here and had to go back out to the Euro place.
That's
why we got on later tonight.
Something that bothers me. Gallatin to Lebanon onto Gladeville Community Center, PWA, on Friday nights, particularly coming back. The speed limit just constantly changes, and it's hard to know when it changes, particularly at night. And anyway, so it used to be 55 and 45, and then once you get at one place, I think it's 30. Now they changed it all to 50, except for 45 and 35, and it goes back and forth. It's so hard to keep up with.
It needs to be 45 or 55 all the way through.
I agree. Or 50 would be good, except I understand there is that one place. Well, anyway, no, it should be, I think, 50 all the way. But anyway, and then the highway patrol and the sheriff's department and everybody and their mama, if they're a police person, they're out there watching for you. It's just not right. It's like, and you could be going with the flow, and the police will pull you over when I'm going with the flow.
Did you get pulled over?
I don't want to talk about it.
Did you get a ticket?
Yeah, and Robert McCullough, our good friend from PWA, and he comes to RWF too, but he was telling me, be careful, because the highway patrol really out there tonight. There's, blah blah blah, whatever was happening. So I didn't listen to it, but I'm going with the flow. I'm not really paying attention. I was speeding, but I was just, and it was wrong, I'm sure, but I'm just going right with what everybody else is going. Why didn't you decide me? I guess, sometimes it's you're the only one to pull over, but there's no reason. There's people in front of me I'm not catching up with. But
maybe they can
I
catch
was
up
guilty, so I just paid the ticket. Anyway, could have gone to traffic school, but in a year it's gone. I may not even live another year. It's who knows?
Well,
It's
I
getting
hope you're not jump out on us.
Nick and tuck here as far, once you get so old, after you get over 50, you never know where you're going to go.
Well, I hope that's not how it is.
I plan on being here for at least another 20 years.
Boy,
that's my genes.
We're going to be able to do a Tim and Rusty show, and applesauce and chewing on his tongue.
Who are you anyway? Well, it'd be like having Bruce Webb and Jesse James out here doing our show.
That's true too.
Oh, Jesse James, shout out to him. He had knee surgery, and he's gone through it, recuperating. He's up. He can walk now he doesn't have to have a cane or walk or anything. He's getting along well. So he's still got a lot of recuperating time, but he's a guy that loves wrestling and been doing whatever the different things he's done in wrestling for many years. So shout out to you. Thank you for all you've done and for getting well for us. Okay.
Well,
I did enjoy. I went back this week and I watched Blackthorn and Sky Black at our March the 15th show in RWF in Gallatin National Guard Armory. And they really did some good stuff. I'm definitely, in case you don't know, am a Blackthorn fan. I have been ever since his first match, before his first match, but particularly ever since his first match, I've always pulled for him one way or another, no matter what I might say. But also with Sky Black, he is just for such a big man, so light on his feet, so moving. He can do some phenomenal moves for probably close to 300 pounds. I'm sure 260 or 70. But anyway, that was a real good match. But the old veteran, he's out there. Well, he's not old veteran, but the old veteran Thorn, he out tricks these guys, because Classic Man he had some kind of doctor's excuse or something. He couldn't wrestle. So he's out there. Oh no, whatever. He couldn't wrestle. He's got a cane that I believe Thorn got from underneath the ring. Anyway, Classic Man gets that a crutch, and he grabs it and keeps Thorn from using it while the referee's tied up doing whatever he's doing. And so right as the referee turns around, Thorn grabs his head and does a backdrop on the mat. Actually, that's what made the referee turn around, and Sky Black got disqualified. I give that match, Rusty the ref gives you a 10 for that, the whole match, but particularly for that move, Blackthorn.
Since we're not going to do a show in April,
Oh, I thought you
for
meant
wrestling,
this.
for a wrestling show. I may do a watch party of the full show of the last show, maybe the Thursday before WrestleMania weekend, so you can get a good fix of wrestling for WrestleMania.
Okay, I'm going to just put. I'm just going to.
Are you gonna watch WrestleMania? Is
on
Cody
it.
Rhodes going to beat
I don't really watch
John Cena?
that-
Is John Cena going to cut his hair all off and go bald like The Rock?
Since I predict kayfabe alert, since John Cena, this is his last hurrah. Now he's probably going to job, and
Well, this is not his last match.
but it's his last year, and I think he'll lose to
WrestleMania
Cody.
is not his last match. This is. I think he's going to win the title.
I hope he does.
I think he wins the
think he
title.
should.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to think. I think he wins the title, and I think on down the line, one of these other pay per views, he ends up losing the title, and then he ends up The Rock turning on him, and him and The Rock will be his final match. That would be good.
I love
that would be good planning.
That
But then again, who knows good planning around here?
that'd be you. I mean, when I've been there more than once, but been there when I would say 70% at least of our locker room for whatever reason can't make it, and we went down through good reasons, you know. I won't go through the reasons I want to, but I won't go. Good reasons, and yet we had one of the best shows.
Oh, yeah.
I don't.
And a lot of
there
that
was
has to do
lag,
with-
not one lag match, not one.
And a lot
jabroni
of that
match.
has to do with even some of the young guys. You know, this is where I think a lot of good training, like Landon Bradley's been trained really well because
Oh, yeah.
he's been trained by his dad. But a lot of these guys understand the what word am I going to look for? Don't know what word I'm
Looking for a big name. Or
no, I'm looking for a word. They know how to work a match. They know. They know
the ring psychology.
psychology. They know the psychology of the business, where what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. And of course, a lot of these guys were there helping me when we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do the last Saturday night. Some of the young guys spoke. Well, why don't we do this, this, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. So
Yeah.
we'll do this, this, and this, and then you know.
I'm assuming Xavier Michaels and Jason Xavier were part of that, put things together right there, weren't they?
No, not really. They were in the back.
And wait,
They were in the back.
they're not young guys either. Well, not young by Landon Bradley and Drew, those guys.
But having some psychology about now, we used to have some promoters in this area that would just have a show and just throw a show together, and never made any sense because you'd go from week to week and it was just matches. So really no storytelling, nothing.
They're trying to
they would
pull.
have, and if you go back to when we worked with, God rest his soul, J.W. Wildfire in Bowling Green, Kentucky. He would sit there and they'd do a show and they'd build up for the following week. And they were running every week. Oh, next Sunday night, they were running on Sunday nights. So-and-so's this is what's going to happen. We'd have it all set up. The very next week, either something would happen during the week where half the wrestlers would get mad at him and not show up or whatever.
We know the reason for that, but
Yeah.
we won't say it.
But we would come back to the next show and we would have maybe two wrestlers that were on the card the week previous that we'd built up for the next week, and all of it was all new. And that happened almost every Sunday night.
Well, and they came there expecting Hulk
oh
Hogan.
yeah, there's one night he told him Hulk Hogan's going to be here next Sunday night. I would not announce it because I knew Hulk Hogan wasn't going to be there. But he got out there on the mic. Don't be surprised when you see Hulk Hogan here next week. So the next week comes around. I'm commissioner of the wrestling show, and I'm doing the ring announcement. I'm the one that's out there. I'm the face of the organization. And I'm out there starting to
arguing with George and Wheezy.
Arguing with George and Wheezy, and anybody else that wants to argue. And I'm sitting there waiting to get the show ready, and here comes people. Oh, where's Hulk Hogan? Why is he not here? Why is Hulk Hogan not here?
Because he
I
never
didn't
was
ever
coming.
said, and then you said Hulk. I said I never said anything. J.W. Wildfire said Hogan would be here.
Did you pay?
Now they did
10
have Hillbilly Jim there a couple of times,
Did
but
you pay-
Hillbilly
he-
Jim's
he
from
lived
Bowling
there.
Green, Kentucky.
Did you pay $10 for your ticket or $50? That's why Hulk Hogan's not here.
But
Well, once again, I think
and I would just come back with, hey, we got better wrestlers than him here tonight anyway.
I
We got Devon Day back there.
In no,
He
no,
can actually do more than a leg drop.
Oh
And
yeah,
this right here.
you're right. Devon Day was that.
No offense to
and
those
Anthony
fans
Wayne,
of Hulk Hogan, but I was never a fan
Anthony
of Hulk
Wayne
Hogan.
was there. Not near the size of Hulk Hogan, but in Anthony Wayne's heyday, I'd just soon see him as anybody. As Hulk Hogan, he's going to put on a better show because he's going to do any. You don't even know how many moves he's going to do. He was a normal high flyer, the drop kicks and stuff, but all the rest of the stuff, he was just a encyclopedia of wrestling holds that you might go through a month worth of matches, weekly matches, and he may never put the same hold on somebody other than a headlock or something. So then we were probably spoiled the SWA because Tim Scruggs, he would put that together where things made sense, and he'd use you to do that too, to build the story. If we didn't have a storyline, you
I
had
told the
one.
story.
Yeah, we had one before it happened, or they came out and did promos, or got in a pull apart, and anyway, he could put those matches together, and
In other
we
words,
could run the
sometimes
same match for 4 weeks in a
No,
row.
sometimes we ran some matches way too long. I
Yeah.
got an old video that I sit there and watch, and it's like the same match, like 5 or 6 weeks in a row. I'm thinking, well, we probably stuck on that too long. We should have.
And we
moved
pretty
on.
much on the Eric Brown, which was our big show, Eric Brown show, we probably had the same match with maybe a different player here or there, that cage match, about 4 or 5 years in a row too. But once again, you couldn't have done any better than that. It was
Oh, yeah.
great. So anyway, so we probably got spoiled from always having a good storyline. You need to have them and build them. So
It's over there now.
what's happening now?
Oh, we're getting ready to come to a close.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, our production manager.
He's busy licking rice off the chair. So,
There's still some on this chair.
and it's on the seat. Well, let's see how he does that. Well, let's see. Let's focus on here.
Well, yeah, you're the one that
So
focused me.
we're not going to have this show, our what do we call this? Our live stream this coming week.
Well, we may still have it.
Oh, I thought you said we weren't having this live stream.
No, the reason we're on tonight is
That-
because we
that was
couldn't.
about this week.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, in this coming week, it may be Thursday before I can get.
Okay.
But
I'm glad I clarified that because I might not have been here. Anyway, and then we're going to probably do a watch party the week before
the Thursday
19th,
yeah.
the Thursday before, and the week before WrestleMania. And
And what we may do is while we're watching, we may have us over in a corner, doing our own little talking.
WrestleMania.
No, not WrestleMania.
Well, we've used the comment.
But I can put us up in the corner and we can talk.
We use the comment on the comments, but it'd be nice to we could answer people verbally from the comments.
Although
That'd be
I
great.
can't see all the way over there.
Can we put it on a bigger screen?
Probably not.
It's called
I ain't got
HDMI
time.
cord.
Yeah,
You're Mr. Technical. You are a technical. What do they call you? Excuse me. What does Facebook call you now?
a moron. I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's something Harry Humphrey would say. Borderline moron. Anyway, but looking forward to that. Who are our sponsors? Is it Addiction Inc.?
The Addiction Inc.
Regular sponsors us every week or every month for our show. We appreciate that. Down on the square in Gallatin, Tennessee, and they also have one is it Portland? Forgive me, it's on our Facebook
It's
page.
either Westmoreland or Portland. I can't remember which one.
I think it's Portland. Anyway, but there's definitely one in Gallatin Square. You can go to their Facebook or their web page and find it's Addiction Inc. And you can see examples of it from Blackthorn. He has many, many, many from Addiction Inc. Or you can look at Tony.
The picture of my mom
Chauncey.
on it. The picture of my mom on his
No,
back,
that-
naked. That
I
one's.
thought that was Luke. Anyway, not a picture of Luke, a picture of
Oh,
your mom on
oh,
Luke's back.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Something
Luke
about
was-
Luke and your mama.
No, Luke was talking to me yesterday, and he was talking about. It was almost like he was looking at me as a stepfather type figure. But then all of a sudden he turns around and he's talking about stepfather. He said, "Yep, I want to be your stepfather." And he was talking about being my stepfather.
That ungrinds my gears. I'm telling you, that's when you get you're plowing or something and you run over an old fence and it gets all up in your plow tines or what, that just rolls it back out. I love that. Oh yeah. So think he'd put a lot of restrictions. I think he'd ground you, and
He's not my real dad.
you need to put a curfew on him.
I'll be like, you're not my real dad.
You need to put a curfew on him. Not a curfew, a bedtime. Oh wait, you're not going to do that. You're both going to be up all night playing.
Oh, not playing.
You're working, but anyway, thank you, Addiction Inc. and also TMTV. They sponsor this show as well as our wrestling shows, and it's I won't say cheapest, but least expensive TV service you're going to find out there, where you can get all the on-demands, or if it's not on there, you don't need to watch it. If by chance there is
Actually, I
something.
put stuff on there that you don't need to watch.
Hey. Anyway, he's got 24/7 shows. He's got everything that would come over the networks. It's great price, and it's probably say 2 months worth is.
What you pay cable bill?
Yeah, I'm saying what you pay for your cable
Yeah.
bill. I mean, that's for the whole year that you pay for
Right.
a couple of months.
Anyways,
So be
But-
sure to check that out.
it is about time for us to go. I need to get over here and watch a little bit more basketball. I have to keep
And,
Luke off the computer.
I would like to invite you to come to church with me tomorrow.
Oh, you didn't tell me anything. You didn't tell us anything about PWA last night. Was it a good show?
Oh, yes, it was an excellent. If you want to take a moment, excuse me, folks, I can inform you right quick. It was.
I wasn't there. I was.
Just need to jog my memory.
Somebody thought that I was promoting that show too. No, I said nope. That's not my show. But you.
Well, when I video it, and I say TMTV Productions. So anyway, Honcho Hensley and Johnny Bandana. I love Johnny Bandana. Love Honcho Hensley. They had a first blood match. They've had a pile driver match. They've had a weapons match. It seems like somehow Honcho keeps coming out on top on the weapons match. Johnny Bandana's wife threw a towel in. I don't understand that. I guess she wanted to come home. But anyway, Johnny won. He had the first blood, and he had they headbutted Honcho and got blood on his forehead, but he had blood all over his taped up fist. And the referee got knocked out. He went over and woke you up to show him, and the referee called the match for Honcho because he saw the blood on Johnny's head. Anyway, he's there, but it's on my fist. Anyway, that was a great match. You'll be wanting to watch that on Facebook when we post it. Also, Matt Starr and Larry Cooter. And Larry Cooter finally came out on top. He didn't come out. He's very not that way, but he came out on top and won the match against everybody. The highlight to me was Desperado with his stick was handcuffed to Lucky P. Austin Esquire. Who'd ever thought Desperado would be, on the babyface, the fan favorite side? But he is. He's sitting there with handcuffed to Lucky P. Larson Esquire. Lucky P ended up throwing powder in his face, and it's like, well, who's going to out Desperado? Well, it's Lucky P. I loved it. Anyway, then he managed to get out of the handcuffs and brought his briefcase up over and set it in the corner, and Cooter threw. Matt was going to throw Cooter into it. Cooter reversed it, threw Matt into it, and anyway, he got the belt. And the stipulation there was Cooter's stipulation was that Lucky had to be handcuffed to Desperado, and Desperado's trying to make his kids act right. And Matt's stipulation was, this is the last time you face me for the belt if you don't win. He was never going to give another shot as long as Matt held it. So anyway, that was pretty good. There was a lot of good. Oh, Kerry Awful. This price of admission, Kerry Awful and Toby Farley. You just can't ask for any better than that. That was a tremendous match. Anyway, Juicy Jimmy was there. I always liked Juicy Jimmy. And he had this, they were called the shot callers, Juicy Jimmy, and I never could get his last name. I apologize. His name was Jacob, shot caller Jacob. I couldn't find anybody that knew it. I'm wondering if he knew it. He was very unconventional. I need you to watch his video because he's sort of, I guess, from amateur wrestling. You know how you always collar and elbow or you Greco-Roman or what? He got down in the floor and reaching up. It was interesting, his approach, but thoroughly enjoyed that match. Of course, Landon Bradley at LBK. LBK won with a DDQ. A DQ. So that was good. A good friend, Bubba Ronald Johnson, was there last night doing the security with others and Coda. Okay, that's a quick rundown on them. Great show. Be sure this coming Friday night, PWA will be there. Okay, Claysville.
Anyways, it is time for us to go. And
I was going to invite you, as our technician goes over to turn us off, I'd like to invite you to come to church with me tomorrow. I teach a Bible class, traditionally called a Sunday school class, 945 House of Grace. I believe it's 604 Lot 4 Road in Gallatin. Or 9 o'clock, rather. 9 o'clock is over 9:45. You get there, just ask anybody, and they'll bring you to my class. Anyways,
it is time for us to go until next week. Sometime we will talk to you later. As I'm
You're
tired.
Tim Miner.
I'm Tim Miner, and this
I'm
is
Rusty
Rusty the
the
Ref.
Ref.
And until next time, have a good night.